Hi, guys. Welcome to the Bible Tribe with Seeing Deep Ministries, where we see deep in a shallow world and overcome the battles of the mind with the Word of God. We like to fit in, to feel like we belong. But God has not called us to be like the world. He has called us to be a light to it. The Bible reading today is from the book of Genesis, chapters 25 through 28, and the verse of the day is Genesis 26, verse 3. Live here as a foreigner in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. I hereby confirm that I will give all these lands to you and to your descendants, just as I solemnly promised Abraham, your father. In context, the mantle of leadership had passed from Abraham to Isaac, and Isaac is being asked to live out God's covenant as Abraham had. Sometimes in a family, the children can ride on the coattails of the parents' faith and can be a part of the Christian culture, but not truly walk with God themselves. But each generation must pick up their own cross and choose to walk with God. The parents lay the foundation, but each child needs to choose to serve God on their own. God was telling Isaac how to live in a foreign land, not to adopt the foreign ungodly practices, but to live as a foreigner. But living in a foreign land is hard and scary. Isaac was settling in Gerar and told his wife Rebekah in chapter 26, verse 7, to say that she is my sister, for he was afraid to say my wife, thinking the men of the place might kill me on account of Rebekah, since she is beautiful. This is deja vu, right? Abraham did the same thing with Sarah and a guy who happened to be named Abimelech. And now here it is Isaac and Rebekah and a guy named Abimelech too. Coincidence? Some commentaries suggest that this was a father and a son who were both named Abimelech and both had a chief named Phicol as well. Whether it was the same Abimelech or two doesn't really matter, but it is interesting to know that we can pass down more than family traits to our children. Fear was at the root of both Abraham and Isaac's decision to tell their wives to lie about their identity. I recently apologized to one of my daughters for the fear I passed down to her, unknowingly. Sometimes we don't realize the effect that our own personal struggles or fears can have on those around us. They can become a part of our culture. The sins of the father can be repeated unless the sins are called out and dealt with. So the key word that I chose from this passage today was the word foreigner, which is the Hebrew word gur. It means stranger and to shrink. Fear, as in strange place. What if we lived as strangers here on this earth? Perhaps we would not grow so comfortable with the culture, but would seek to affect the culture more than it affects us. The thought of the day is God has not called us to be like the world. He's called us to be a light to it. And the application? Pay attention to how you live in this world. We are not called to be of the world, but in it to help others to know Jesus. Go with God, friends, and His precious word. Tune in tomorrow as we head back into the book of Joshua.